sitting in the throne room counting skulls when all of a sudden the alarm siren startles me. I jump to my feet. I peer out. I see single scout. Enemies have underestimated me. I stalk and walk over by the front door. I wait. As soon as my enemy is unsuspecting, I break through the front door. My tiny victim hurled 6 feet across my front lawn. She hits the ground. I Rev Gore child. She has fierce look in her eyes. She throws package at me, says something of thin mince. Oh! I come to. I answer front door. I buy 2 boxes of Tagalogs, and I bid her farewell.
Talking about World Eaters, Khârn. They gave us some holdover rules.
Christ.
Boy, oh boy.
Oh my god. Drew, you have the White Dwarf. You are in control of the.
I
fate
have
of
the
the
White
episode.
Dwarf.
You
It is
have the
mine.
white. You have all the dwarfs.
I ain't gonna tell you where Sleepy is.
he's,
Yeah,
he's comfortable. You know that much.
So this is my first White Dwarf purchase in a very, very long time, and I have to say I'm impressed with the magazine. It's a
They have
pretty
definitely
hefty.
come a long way, for sure.
Yeah, it's. I mean, there's a lot of shit in here. This issue came with the World Eaters supplement. There is a sticker sheet plus additional code for Chaos Gate. You get like an extra weapon skin. So
Fucking
yeah,
mine.
that is yours.
Mine.
You can have all of the stickers and the code. Yeah, there was like a supplement for something for.
I want you to know whenever we get the website up and going, there is going to be a picture of me, and it is going to be covered in the stickers of the Grey Knights. And yes, that'll be a waste of those stickers, and I don't care. I need to be covered in their goodness. That sounded strangely homoerotic, but I don't care. That's how much I love my Grey Knights.
He loves the sticky goodness on his body. Yeah, but pretty cool. I got it because of the World Eater supplement. Chaos Space Marines, Chaos Knights. I have armies for both. Love the idea of more god-specific legions getting their own codex. So anything I could do to just kind of scratch the itch until I have that.
Get that scratch going, you know.
So what's funny about the World Eater supplement is it's literally it's like 8 pages long. 6 of those pages are just straight up like story. But they do some interesting stuff. I love that they emphasize that Angron never wanted to join the Empire. He has a disdain for the Emperor because the Emperor basically screwed him out of like dying with his friends, long story short. Didn't want a legion. And then the Emperor's like, "Oh, what's that in the side of your head? Oh, the people whose planet you grew up on put cybernetic implants in your brain that make you go lust crazy and just like fuck with your neuro pathways in your brain and just make you angry all the time. Yeah, no, I don't see anything wrong with here. And yeah, join my crusade because we're gonna better humanity." And then what does Angron do? He's like, "I don't like any of you. You're not my children. I fucking hate you. I'm gonna put implants in your brain like I have. Get on that, scientists." And they do. And then they put butcher's nails, which is what this implant's called. They put the closest approximation that they could get to it because they can't remove them from Angron because it'll kill him. So they're like, "Do you have any as a sample?" He's like, "You got what you got. Like, this is what's in my brain. Scan my head and make it happen, or I will kill you so fast." So they do. And then he's like, "You're all getting this brain implant, children that I never wanted and I hate. Do it. You're ugly. I hate you." And then the Emperor's like, "I can't believe you did that. How dare you?" Really? Does the fault lie on Angron, or does the fault lie on yourself, Mr. Emperor of Mankind?
Right.
And essentially, after the Siege of Terra collapsed, they all were just like, "Cheese it. Get up in ships and we gotta go, man. We gotta get out of here." And that's what they did. And so now you have all of these different war bands of different sizes, all just killing in the name of, to quote the song, in their own way. There's a section in here. It's the headhunters of Rorgrak's Bloodhand. And long story short, like this leader of this little war band of world eaters was like, I got so many human skulls. Like I got a lot. And I tried stacking them, I tried juggling them, tried putting them in fun little decorative hats, and I'm bored. This isn't working for me. And then he got word of Tyranids, these like crazy new alien race that's coming in and just tear assing through the galaxy.
A new challenger.
Basically, yeah. So he's like, full speed ahead, we gotta go into that. So he literally leads his fleet into a high fleet, and he's literally just harvesting Tyranid skulls now. Like it talks about how he and his warriors have claimed the skulls of countless millions of gaunts and enormous craniums of scores of biotitans. So they're just like, look at that weird bulbous ass fucking skull on that son of a bitch. Give it to me now.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you
Yes.
this. Does it look like a sphincter?
they leave those for the Emperor's children. Here's the leavings. Yeah, so there's fun things like that. In my experience, especially when you get into like some of these really specific factions of Chaos Space Marines, a lot of the lore, I mean, really, it's them versus Ultramarines or Iron Fists or something like that. So it's neat to see the World Eaters fighting the Tyranids, like that mix of parts of the lore. I just like to see that kind of Venn diagram happen, and the idea of them just being like skulls are skulls are skulls. They don't have to be human shaped. Look at that thing. That thing's got a skull the size of a Prius. I want it.
It helps break everything up though too. Instead of the same, like you said, it's just always Space Marines. We're space now. You're like they're expanding it outward and going no, like their primary enemy sure is the Space Marines. They're the good guys, or however you want to look at it.
Yep.
But now there's this other threat, and they're just fucking batshit crazy enough to be like, fuck it, let's go fight. I'm bored fucking killing these guys over here. Those look like they'll be fun to kill for a little while, so let's do that. And it kind of helps bring that all together. I do like that.
Yeah, it's like all you hear from Khârn Berserkers and Khârn the Betrayer and everything in the lore normally is just skulls for the Skull Throne, blood for the Blood God. And then it's like, this guy literally was like, yeah, but I have so many. What else is there? Like that longing of like, there's a skull out there for me. He's looking for the Cinderella slipper of people's skulls.
I think I have the perfect thing. Hey, Khârn, can you head down to that planet there and take care of those other Space Marines? Stop attacking those Tyranids over there.
I am not your bootlick.
Okay, I'll get you on a better day. But it's fun. Like some of the stuff in here, they talk about their recruitment, and some of the war bands still have access to like the different facilities that Space Marine chapters would use to replenish their numbers. So they can still kind of harvest gene seed, and they're a little bit more organized. And then it talks about like that's on one side of the spectrum to where they're still able to get recruits in a way that is somewhat resembles how current chapters are doing it. And then on the other side, you have war bands who like have gone so like they have slipped so far into bloodlust where the thought of replenishing numbers and attrition isn't even a thing that they think about. So they just fight themselves to extinction. And that is also hilarious.
You gotta love the commitment
and terrifying. Yeah. And then it's like, hey, you guys, we need to.
We should pump the brakes here so we can like replenish. Get him!
Yeah. Like that's what they do.
Blood for the blood god.
I mean, literally, like that, and that's it. There are other ones. They retain enough presence of mind to seek to replenish their ranks. They often utilize the skills of those who they have collectively become known as berserker surgeons. So something we're going to see in this codex. is a
Berserker,
corn.
I'm sorry, hang on. I'm gonna pause you right there because there's a visual image in my mind of, you remember the game Surgeon Simulator?
Yeah.
That's a berserker surgeon. It's just fucking shit flying all over the place. Fucking tools falling into the chest cavity. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest.
But no, like there literally is going to be world eaters apothecaries, and they're referred to as berserker surgeons. And all I can imagine is just somebody with a crazed look in their eye, with a hypodermic needle gauntlet. Just who needs Botox? Surgery for everybody. You get a lobotomy, and then them
Here you
trying.
go.
Yeah, like they
Needle
go
for
to
you.
they go to like he needs to open heart surgery, and then they go to hand him a scalpel and he throws it away and he's like, I have the only instruments I need, with his bare hands, and then just plunges them into somebody's chest. Like, what the hell is that
Don't
going to
mind
be?
me. I just got to tinker with your ticker.
Yeah, so there's a lot of really cool stuff in here. They talk about how after, basically at this point in their history, so we're talking after like the Drop Site Massacre, the siege on Terra, they've learned, they refer to it as heinous practices regarding demonic pacts, as well as how to harness the warp in their grotesque procedures. They're talking about like berserker surgeons and the way that like they go about
I'm sorry. I'm
creating
not going
new
to be able to
people.
think of that and not laugh. It's going to make
So,
me giggle every time.
yeah, like they basically, these people go around with chaos lords and they create war bands of crazed maniacs. So very excited. They mention gladiators in here, and I believe they almost felt like referencing them as like their version of cultists. Like, you basically have to prove yourself in combat, which would make sense for them.
Do you like gladiator movies, Timmy?
So like the idea of you having berserker surgeons creating all of these crazed maniac gladiators who will then someday get to inherit the rank of Khârn berserker.
Or the rank of, dead, and they're just happy with that too. Like,
Mhm.
they're good either way.
It's just like, hey, you know what, Jim? Man, you were able to just, gnaw through the throats of 7 guardsmen back there, and we think you're ready for a promotion. So we're gonna go over here and we're gonna just make you into a 9-foot tall humanoid monstrosity, strap you in a bunch of crazy armor, and you see this axe right here? Listen to that baby purr.
Like, I think the World Eater's diet, if it doesn't consist of body parts from their slain enemies. Do you remember that the chocolate from World War II that the German Nazis would eat? That was like just straight up laced with like methamphetamine.
Yeah, there's like they basically what was it, Blitzkrieg, the book or whatever, like
Yeah.
the Nazis were on so much meth chocolate that they were able to take like Paris in 24 hours or something crazy like that.
Because they didn't stop. They were supposed to stop well before Paris, but they're like, we can do this.
Yeah, well, because they also were like, eat your chocolate now. That yes, oh yes, eat more of the chocolate. Yes, you like the chocolate. Oh yes, your eyeballs are popping out of your skull because of the chocolate. It's so good. Meanwhile, they're like, I don't know what you guys put in this fucking chocolate, but I can't stop eating it, man. And I swear to God, every time I take a bite of this chocolate, I think I can hear the grass talking to me. We gotta go, guys. We gotta go. My shoes are filled with blood, but I can't stop eating your chocolate.
I can ignore the pain. So let me ask you this. So the White Dwarf gives you a little bit of the rule set too, right? It gives you some like specific rules.
Yeah.
What would you say is the highlight? Like, what's your, like, the thing that's going to get used the most and probably utilize? I should say utilize the most, not just use the most, but not every rule is a stratagem or anything, but just that. How do you feel that that's going to be what's going to be the most utilized?
So I'm happy to see that they have a Legion trait for the Butcher's Nails, which is fantastic because Angron made sure that every one of them sons of bitches got that horrible, horrible treatment.
Yeah, explain that if people don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, and I kind of brushed over it in the beginning of the episode, but it was like it's like a cybernetic implant into your brain that just makes everything make you angry. You just want to murder, death, kill all the time. And then Khârn, the god's kind of like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna go tinker with that too. Just gonna kind of like send my rage energy at it. And so now at this point, they talk about how when they're not killing and fighting, like they're just sad and they hate life. So that's what makes them happy. And the way that they represent the butcher's nails in this is whenever a unit that has that trait, which so far there's only two units in the supplement. It's Khârn the Betrayer and Khorne Berserkers. But they both have the butcher's nails, and the way that this works is if they are charged, they perform a heroic intervention. Then, until that fight is resolved, they add 1 to the attack characteristic of all of the models in their unit.
That's so ridiculous. That's so gross.
Khârn gets 6 attacks base. Berserkers get 5 base, and then the Berserker Champion gets 6. So you're talking 9 Khorne Berserkers plus the Berserker Champion are going to hit you like 52 times.
Ugh.
So plus on top of that, they also have the Mark of Khorne, which when they charge, are charged or heroic intervention. So these are both hitting at the exact same times. They had one of the strength characteristic of their attack.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but now that I think about it, the Space Marines have like a blanket fucking rule like that. So, I can't remember what it is, but I remember utilizing it when I played Black Templars every now and then. But they had something similar where it was like, no matter what, if they get attacked or you attack them, it didn't matter. They just got a flat +1 to their attack. And it's nice to see Chaos getting some equal footing ground love.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Versus what the Space Marines, because Space Marines always get everything. They just fucking get whatever they. What do you guys want? This is a fucking genie bottle that you just keep rubbing and rubbing and rubbing, and we just keep popping out genies, just popping out more genies with more wishes. What do you guys want? So it's nice to know that Chaos. They said this is going to be the year of Chaos. I think they actually said that last year, but then COVID absolutely fucked everything up for them. But. Yeah, go Nurgle. He showed them.
I was going to say, I mean, in a way, they were still right.
They were still
one
right.
specific god.
So yeah, I think it's nice to. I just wanted to make sure I noted that it is nice to see them finally giving some attention to Chaos in a way that is meaningful and not just aesthetic. Because Chaos always gets aesthetically pleasing models. They always get aesthetically pleasing rules that are kind of like surface level. Oh, that's kind of neat. This is effective on a game level, game-changing level. You can move a fucking group of Zerkers in a Rhino, or not in a Rhino, but in a Land Raider with fucking Khârn. Drive that bitch to the center of the field of battle where the most action is happening and just unload them and watch them just decimate in the middle of the battlefield.
Oh, absolutely.
As soon as they're free and clear for shooting, they're going to get ripped apart because they're going to be a target numero uno. But what I'm saying is, like, they will get their point value back and then some easily. And it's nice to see that happening.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's thematic. It fits with what you've read about them in the Horus Heresy books and the different novels. I mean, they talk about once the nails take over, they like kind of black out. And Khârn was always like Betrayer was the name of the Horus Heresy book that focused on Angron's fall and or becoming a demon prince. And through the book, you're taking Khârn's perspective, and like he's always the last one to succumb to the nails. He's always trying to kind of guide his fellow world eaters and no, like, we don't need a charge right now. We should be moving over here. And then even he succumbs to the nails. But like he talks about seeing just a wave of world eaters like running up against a blockade and throwing themselves at it, and they're just getting cut in half and mowed down by like machine gun fire until they wave after wave of world eater until they gunk up the machine gun parts. It's like
is that Brannigan approach?
Yeah, like literally.
I just sent wave after wave of my own men to their deaths. I knew the killbots had a preset kill limit.
And so they are absolutely devastating when charging and when being charged. The heroically intervening as well, but it makes you obviously want to get them into melee as soon as you can. And there are, I mean, right there alone, you're talking an extra attack on the charge and being charged, an extra strength. Base Khorne Berserkers will be strength 6 attacks, and then they also get +1 to the armor penetration if they have a chaos icon in that group. And so you're talking about their chain blades, which are AP2, 1 damage, but they're going to have enough attacks. That won't matter. But those things are going to be AP -3. Plus, they have a stratagem that lets you Wild Fury, and you basically can pick a World Eaters unit. Once they've been selected to fight, you pop this command point, Wild Fury, and then until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit attacks, you can improve the armor penetration by 1 again. So you can make them AP4, which you have a you got a commander and a tank.
Be a force.
Yeah, we're just gonna carve your tank open like a can of sardines and pluck your warlord out of it.
Come with us. We want to talk to you about Blood for the Blood Guy. Sign up now and get a limited edition skull. It's yours.
One of the right there. You see that spot on the mantelpiece? That's where you're gonna go. You live with me now. One of the stratagems, it's called Stoke the Nails. And the little descriptor is aggression stimulators implanted into the brains of the World Eaters drive them into uncontrollable rages. So again, Butcher's Nails, you're basically just making them kind of go into overdrive. Use this stratagem at the start of the fight phase. Select one World Eater's core unit from your army. Until the end of the phase, they are considered to be engaged in wanton slaughter, which is something from the new Chaos book, which is basically Chaos Space Marines. Each battle are going to start in wanton destruction, which will give them, each time a model in this unit makes an attack with a heavy rapid fire or grenade weapon, an unmodified roll of 6 scores 1 additional hit. That's where all Chaos Marines will start, in wanton destruction. So it's going to boost their longer range and heavier weapons. Then they'll go into Wanton Massacre, which does the same thing except for its attacks with rapid fire, assault, and pistol weapons. Unmodified to hit rolls of 6, you score an additional hit. This is talking about Wanton Slaughter, which is the third and onward. And what that does is each time a model in this unit makes an attack with an assault, pistol, or melee weapon, an unmodified hit roll of 6 scores an additional hit. So you have exploding hits on 6s if you use Stoke the Nails. So, and it's 1 command point a go. So not only, and it also adds 1 to the strength characteristic of all models in that unit. So my Khârn Berserkers are now, if I were to use that, are hitting you on the charge or when they're charged, hitting you at strength 7.
Yeah, they're gonna get targeted heavily when they hit the field.
Yeah, those 52-ish attacks, I'm gonna roll some 6s, and then I'll probably pick those up. And who knows, you might roll some more. Like it's absolutely cuckoo bananas how many attacks they're gonna get. Khârn, the Betrayer, still living up to his name. At the end of your movement phase, if there are any other friendly units within 3 inches of Khârn, roll 1d6. On a 2+, select one of those units. That unit suffers 2 mortal wounds. So he's still at his old shenanigans.
Oh, so they've actually added a more. So he still will kill a friendly outright, though.
Oh yeah, 2 mortal wounds. So he'll either kill a single berserker or some cultists. I will be probably packing him with some cultists nearby, so that he can just, it's kind of like,
well, point for point, you don't want to lose a Zerker versus a cultist. It's just easier to lose the cultist.
Yeah, Khârn is just riding in the back seat, and that's the Game Boy that I'm throwing him. That pack of cultists, you chew them up real nice and fine. I don't care.
They're just riding in silence, like just terrified if they say even a slightest word that he'll fucking murder him in the truck. And there's like, they get out of the truck, like, yeah, that wasn't a bad. That's it. That guy got killed immediately. Khârn had enough of his exuberance.
Let's go, my lord. Let's go. He chose me. He chose me. Meanwhile, the one cultist that makes it into like the entire time running with him's like, always a bridesmaid, never a bride, I guess.
Oh, eternal disappointment.
I also, to go back real quick to the fucking berserker.
The Zerker surgeons?
Yeah, the berserker surgeons. The idea of like when they were first introduced to Angron, and Angron's like, you see this in my head? Yeah. Duplicate it, put it in everybody else's. They were just like, well, all right, well, can we examine it? And then they're like, oh no, that'll kill you. Okay. So we're just gonna kind of wing it. Like, I just like the idea of like nowadays these berserker surgeons just being so fucking insane that they're just like hammering actual nails in people's heads now.
Yeah, that'll do it.
We tried real nails, we tried deck nails, we tried screws. Ain't none of it working.
Railroad spikes. Railroad spike went really bad though.
One guy put a Lincoln log up a dude's nose. He was real pissed.
He was not happy. We just revved him up though and sent him off into battle, and he killed like 30 fucking guys. So whatever.
I don't know if
It
it was so
worked.
much the Lincoln log, but you know, he just had a lot of heart in him. It was good.
He was ready to go.
So 2 stratagems also that I wanted to talk about. One of them is Scorn of Sorcery. So obviously Khârn is the god of blood,
Melee and
skulls, melee,
brutality.
combat. He hates magic. What this does for 1 command point, if a psychic past has been tested for an enemy psyker, and it's after you've like attempted any deny the witch attempts or anything like that, if that enemy psyker unit is within 24 inches of any World Eaters units from your army, you roll a d6. On a 4+, that psychic power is just outright denied.
Jeez.
So they got a
Ooh.
50-50 chance to just say no. I
God
don't
damn.
believe in magic. And then your psyker just kind of goes, oh, okay.
But look at my eyes. They're blue and crackling with energy. Does that do anything?
I got this velvet pouch here full of magic stones. And they give me energy. It's like, no. I'm going to murder you now. Okay, I guess. Well, I hate playing with you
Take my
guys.
ball and I'm going home.
Yeah. This is stupid. You always say...
Taking my library book and I'm going home.
I said lightning bolt. I hit you with the tennis ball. And you always say that it's not going to happen. This is stupid.
You keep telling me about class 4 Bosnian armor.
They got a cool helmet, Relic. You want to hear about it?
I do want to hear about it.
So
you know why? Because it's powerful and I love it.
So it adds 2 to the strength characteristic, whoever the bearer is. But it also, in that character's charge phase, if you are eligible to charge and are within 8 inches of an enemy unit, you must declare a charge with it. I fucking love it.
We're going for it.
8 inches. You now.
You, me. 20 seconds.
I love it. It kind of reminds me of like the Darth Vader effect in Star Wars, where they're like, the rebels are on the run, and we could destroy the entire rebellion in one foul swoop if we just keep going forward. And he's like, but Kenobi, I gotta get Kenobi. I gotta do it. He cut my legs off. Like it's just that the idea of like I would love for it to be like, I don't know. Give me a unit like a Jakaro weaponsmith, just like a single like space orangutan in a tree, and he's just like 8 inches. I gotta kill him. I gotta kill that little techno ape. And then they're like, sir, no, but like the enemy commander's right there. They're only 2 more inches away. Like we should do that. No,
relax. Let's and then you just hear him scream across from the battlefield.
I got you for 3 minutes.
I literally downloaded that as you were talking because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get that because that's exactly what I'm thinking of.
I just love it because it makes them, in my opinion, how a World Eater should be, really good at mushing something up in melee, but also a little unpredictable. You never really know where they're going to go. In that case, Khârn and the nails have taken them, and they're bum rushing whoever. Also, the chain axe Gorefather is able to be selected as an upgraded weapon for a model.
Oh my god!
So yeah, it's pretty cool, and it's got an ability: each time an attack is made with this weapon, subtract 1 from the attack's hit roll, and on an unmodified wound roll of 6, the target suffers 3 mortal wounds.
Jesus.
So
why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
and look, as much as it pains me to go, well, that would suck to be on the receiving end for. I'm all for the Powerhouse books. I really am anymore. Because again, I love the idea of it. I love it. Let me be on the receiving end of that. I don't care. I don't care if I get my shit pushed in by this army until they figure out a balance to bring other armies up to it. I'm okay with that. Because what it's going to do is it's going to drive people to want to play that army. And that's, to me, that's worth it. So
Banner of Rage is another upgraded relic you can get. It's for a priest model only. That gives every World Eaters unit within 6 inches of that model an additional attack. So, I mean, you can be ramping these guys up to be hitting like 60-something attacks per 10 man at strength 7, AP 4, or AP 3. I mean, they're gonna just run through your. It's like when you're at like a high school football game and you see the football team run through the paper mache banner that the
Yeah.
cheerleaders are holding, and then they run through it. Like that's your army.
Except they're also running through the cheerleaders. In this game.
That's this. They're just run like that's them running through their army, and before they know it, they stop and then they like look around, and they're just they're walking on like a bloody chunked viscera carpet.
That's shag carpeting for the Khârn.
That's right. That's where the enemy went. I blacked out back there for like a good 45 minutes. And, Shane, I saw you just rip a man's head off of his shoulders. I mean, I know this is a little boring. We had to kind of mix it up, right? I mean, that back dude over there, he killed somebody with a spoon because why not? Like that's gonna be them. They're bored killing at this point.
I just like the idea, like you talking to him, like, yeah, you like totally took a guy's head off. Like, hey man, like I feel like I got something on my head here. Can you get that for me? And he just like reaches up and grabs like the guy's eyes and like peels them off and goes, oh yeah, those are eyes. Don't know where those came from.
Isn't that just the silliest thing?
It's the bee's knees, I tell you.
I'm excited for the new models too. I know you were going to ask me questions, and I think I've just
you've covered them.
Non-stop rambled this entire time.
But we each had our moment.
One of the details that they talk about in this codex or this supplement is at this point in time, the World Eaters, they're consumed with combat, and obviously that's all they think about. But that also bleeds into, pun intended, their maintenance of their equipment and their armor, in that they don't do it. So they talk about their armor being like pockmarked with bolter dents and gashes from chain blades and power swords. So I would love to see the updated Khârn Berserker models that we're going to get reflect that, where they are just these beastly, horrifying metal monstrosities coming at you, and I want to see that kind of battle damage show on their models. I think that's just really going to help. The current Khârn Berserkers are really old, and they just kind of look a little goofy. They look like a little stubby red, like, man, I'm gonna get you, blah, blah, blah. Like I don't know, I feel like they should have like a voice like a Munchkin from Wizard of Oz.
I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, because they had like the little stubby, like, I don't know. If you look at them, I mean, they just look. Their helmets.
I'm gonna take you down to the lollipop guild. Yeah. Fuck you up.
I got a skull helmet. See, skulls. Like they just.
I heard slowly turning them into like weird gangsters. We went from Wizard of Oz, little people, to gangsters, like for no reason. It's an evolving show.
Should have come around here. See, yeah. Spaceship's mine now, huh?
Anus, is that you?
Don't even say the number 8. See, I hate it. Gonna make me real mad. But yeah, like I would like that. That's a detail that I never really thought about. In the Horus Heresy books, they show the degradation mentally of they don't. Some of the Marines would start to not really eat. They would spend all their time in World Eaters would have like fight pits where they were honing their martial prowess. Oh, Shane's over there and he just keeps wanting to, he's not eating, man. It was Taco Tuesday, all you can eat, the full spread, and he was over in that fight pit all day. What's up with that? Man never missed a chance to get his taquito on. There's a lot of that kind of stuff in the Horus Heresy novels, and so to take that to the nth degree now, where it's like they completely don't care. It's combat or it's nothing. And towards the end of the Horus Heresy books, those the gladiator fight pits started to get a little bit more violent than they were before. Where instead of it being like you fight to first blood, it's like, oh shit, did his head come off? Oops. Well, that means I win, though, right?
That's good, right? Is that bingo?
I done good, boss, right?
So, all right. Well, I think we should just leave it at that. I think we both have equally gone on our tangents. But there is something that we did miss, and I feel foolish for not doing it. But Drew, what the fuck is your invulnerable save for today? Because I'm not gonna lie, been a rough week.
Oh boy,
Uh,
I got my car back from the shop.
Yay! There we go.
It was
That's something.
It was a good 2 months of it being just at the repair shop. So
Or they're like, yeah, we'll get that part when it gets in.
literally, it's what the guy said. I was like, "Oh man, like what's gonna
Been
take so
there.
long?" And he's like, "It's not that it's gonna take forever to do it." He's like, "I just don't have the parts." He's like, "I can try to fit other car parts on your vehicle and call it a day if you want." But I was like, "Well, no, let's not do that." So okay, you have a good day. You just let me know when it's ready. So and it's thematic because my car is red. So there you go. That's
It all works. It all works. It all comes together.
now I'm gonna drive it at 80 miles an hour and claim some skulls for Khârn for corn.
And also never yield to police or ambulance vehicles ever again because apparently other people are not paying enough attention.
I demand a berserker surgeon. You find them. If there was a doctor recently who is succumbed to rabies, you bring him in. Shane, what do you got?
I'm gonna take a minute here because I do feel bad, but I also feel good. We have not given proper props to our fucking music guys. Astralborn. They recorded that shit for us a long time ago when we were in the infancy of figuring all this out. And I am just eternally grateful for that music that they cut for us.
Back when our show was going to be a different type of show.
Very. If it wasn't for the music, I don't think this show would ever have gotten anywhere. That music kept us motivated to do something with it. We're like, no, we have to keep going. So, guys, if you're listening to this, thank you. And if you are a listener and you like that music and you think that intro music is up your alley, the name of the band, Astralborn, Eternity's End is their album. You go check them out. Play them on loop on Spotify. Get them all the little pennies they can get from Spotify because we all know how Spotify just does not pay anything. So
put your phone on silent, click play while you sleep at night.
Let that shit just go.
Yeah, there you go.
And pray to God that somebody doesn't turn your silence off because that will wake you right the fuck up. That'll pull you right out of there.
You may crap your pants, but you'll be awake. So there you go.
So Drew, after our invones and everything, I just have the final question for you. Since we're talking Khârn, and Khârn's he's enormous, right? He is large beyond our comprehension as a chaos god. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I went to the grocery store the other day, and there was some big corn there.
And and his number is 8.
Yes.
So does he only have like an 8-inch penis, you think?
I mean, I feel like he would demand it that way.
He'd have to, right?
But it's 8 inches in all directions. So it's like a basketball. That's why he's angry.
I can't do anything with this thing. Like, I like to think too, like these 10-foot tall space marines are all like gifted with just an 8-inch dick, and that's just what they've got.
Wait, no,
just like, yep.
But don't space marines not have peepees? Isn't that like part of the lore?
I don't think so. Look, let me live in my weird fantasy right now.
I'm gonna Google this. They're about to be.
It's about to be a weird Google search history.
Oh, hang on. It's good call. Let's go incognito.
Incognito.
Do space marines have peepees?
Oh, this is how we're ending the episode. I can't be happier with it.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so I got some weird shit here. Can space marines and custodes feel attraction? Do loyal space marines have sex? There is some weird erotic 40K fiction going on.
You're about to go down a rabbit hole you do not want to be a part of.
This just says, do space marines have extra organs? I mean, they got like 7 hearts and a bunch of kidneys. Even if they have sexual desires, they cannot procreate. So what does that mean?
It doesn't mean they don't have dicks. It just means that maybe they're shooting blanks, so they can't create more children.
They still have the same emotional, passionate attraction, etc., and feelings of the opposite sex like any human male, but have a better control from their training and reprogramming like they do with fear. So they're just like super able to just be like, no, We shouldn't.
Anyways, we finished it up with Khârn has a basketball dick. So congratulations. That's the show.
But now this person's talking about them making super babies. This is getting weird.
All right, we're ending it. That's it. Bye.